Chapter 5. Tai was ill because malevolent spirits had taken his soul. Without a soul, sickness was inevitable, followed by death. Only a sacrifice could return a soul, but his situation was such that it took 2 hogs to appease the spirits. Rational or not, Tai's health improved. Soon, he was standing and walking again. The shaman advised the family to continue burning ghost money for added protection. He also gave Tai a special amulet to wear. The white cloth would guard his soul, while the red would strengthen his body. These strings, worn like a twisted necklace, would keep him safe. Tai was healed, and they celebrated with a feast. He was a vision of health as he threw a football to his cousins and gobbled down a bowl of noodles.
Stop throwing that ball around the table.
Sorry, Mom.
Tai grimaced and tossed the football into a basket. Alan and Chang groaned and returned to their food.
You're looking well, and we're all just happy to see you strong again.
Blia smiled as she served tea. Good tea improved everything.
I feel great. Don't worry about me, guys. Hmong shamans are the shit. I mean, he really knew what he was doing.
Just make sure you keep those bracelets on. You're not in the clear yet.
His dad grinned affectionately.
Who was that guy performing the ceremony? He was really young. What happened to the other guy who used to come here?
Shang Mi was playing on her phone. Alan and Cheng argued about who would get on the Xbox first. Outside of this noise, the table was eerily silent. Mossy glanced at each of their faces, knowing they were hiding something. Yer was strangely somber as he answered.
He passed away.
What?
The original shaman was also young with a copper-blonde mullet and colorful koi tattoos along the neck. He was the most incredible-looking dude anyone had ever seen on the flying horse. Tai couldn't believe he was gone.
What happened?
Are you done with these?
His mom asked, no one in particular, as she cleared the table. Blia joined her in collecting dishes. Neither responded to Tai's question.
It doesn't matter.
Yer waved his hand dismissively.
It's nothing for children to worry about.
The important thing is that you're better, Tai.
Kang agreed. Tai and Mossy looked at each other. Hmong parents lectured all day but rarely explained anything. As May and Blia took the dishes to the kitchen, Yer followed. He knew her expression for what it was. She was worried. He waited until after Blia returned to the dining room before touching May's elbow.
Honey, what's going on?
Yer watched her with concern.
What are we supposed to tell him?
She dropped the dishes into the sink and sobbed.
We'll tell him exactly what Tuso said.
May might as well have called him crazy, the way she looked at him.
How are we supposed to tell our 15-year-old that he's to become a shaman?
Tuso had discovered other things while rescuing their son's soul. Tai was to become a shaman. He wasn't just plagued by evil spirits. He had spirit guides who wanted his attention. What's more, he carried a trace of Tuso's shaman bloodline. It was this last part that put him in the most danger. Tai would have to find a shaman master to teach him, and he would have to get married to stay safe. Chosen brides protected their shamans from harm. But only the ancestral spirits could reveal the chosen bride. Rumors were already circulating that some black magic practitioners could locate chosen brides. It was forbidden magic. But what wouldn't one do to protect their child? Yer hoped he wouldn't have to resort to such methods. For now, Tuso's binding powers had bought them some time. Yer hugged his wife.
He's gonna be fine. We'll make sure of it.
The rest of the night remained cheerful. Tai played the guitar, and Mossy joined him for a few songs. The kids danced hilariously offbeat to whatever was played. Everyone laughed at Chang and Alan's ridiculous dance battle to acoustic guitar music. It was around this time, however, that Mossy felt the first rush of fuzziness in her head. Her vision blurred, and she saw everyone in 2. White noise buzzed in her ears, turning into urgent whispers. A sharp pain hit her chest, and she gasped. Her heart gripped as it did whenever she was scared. Then, as quickly as the feeling had come, it disappeared. Tai was still playing the guitar, and the kids were still dancing. The parents remained chattering across the room. Mossy shook her head and gathered her wits. Unfortunately, the strange sensations continued throughout the night. By the time they got home, Mossy was exhausted. Shangmi wanted to watch over the moon, but Mossy went to her room. Her head felt like a ton of bricks as she crashed onto the bed. Why was it raining? Why was she outside? Why was it so cold? She scrambled to her feet, glancing in every direction. Somewhere amongst sad, towering trees was the sound of struggle. Above that struggle, a female voice cried,
Tuso, Tuso, come home. My son, come home.
She called him Tuso, son of thunder. The dark skies above crackled and bellowed with streaks of lightning. As her eyes adjusted to the darkness, they fell upon two figures in the distance. One was a man wielding a sword against the other, a creature of colossal size. Its top half was a man with a chest covered in gray scales. The bottom half was a black serpent's tail. The man swung his sword, but the serpent cast it aside and slammed him onto the ground. It wrapped a tail around him and aimed razor claws at his throat. Mossy's soul screamed at the same time. An intense purple glow burned from her eyes. Before she knew it, she was sprinting into the field. She never lost momentum as she lifted the sword from the ground, leaped into the air, and sank the blade into the monster's back. It released a blood-curdling screech. As she clung to the sword, Mossy locked eyes with the man on the ground. Golden brown eyes flared wildly from a face marred with dirt and blood. It was the last thing she saw as the monster ripped her away and threw her far across the field. She hit the overgrown root of one of the sad, towering trees, and the world went black. Tuso's eyes snapped open, and he bolted upright in bed. Sweat dripped down his face as he remembered being ensnared by Du Yong's tail. The demon almost won.
I was so afraid we would lose you this time.
An older woman wept as she held him close, while his father chanted fervently, pounding on a gong to drive away any lingering evil in the room. Pa Hoa rocked him back and forth. Tuso felt an odd sense of calm as he met his mother's gaze.
What is it?
She furrowed her brows at the strange look on his face.
I saw her.
Those 3 words said it all. His father stopped chanting, and Pa Hua's tears dried. The spirits had revealed Tuso's chosen bride.